national attention, as opposed to Virginia, really flew under the radar screen. Chitterelli was not seen as a top-tier candidate from the start, and Phil Murphy was seen as a stronger candidate than Terry McAuliffe. So if you have anything like the kind of suburban backlash that we're seeing in Virginia, that's going to be a double wake-up call for Democrats.
In Cincinnati and Boston electing their first Asian-American mayors. Democratic mayor candidate Eric Adams becomes New York's second black mayor. Minneapolis voters rejecting a move to replace the police department with a public safety department. The Supreme Court today hearing arguments from New York gun owners who want to carry handguns for self-defense. They say the state's concealed carry laws are too strict.
If the court strikes it down, Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan worries the streets would become more dangerous.
Disputes that would be settled by people yelling at each other, maybe engaging in a fist fight, are being settled with guns.
There are implications here for more than 24 states with concealed carry permits.
That's ABC's Aaron Katursky. Little shots and little arms. The CDC saying yes to Pfizer's COVID vaccine for children.
We're going to add about 25 million people, kids, whose immunity will make a difference.
That's Brown University School of Public Health Dean Dr. Ashish Jha. The John Deere strike goes on for workers in the Midwest. They rejected the company's latest offer. You're listening to ABC News.
Oil drilling investments involve a high degree of risk and are only suitable for SEC-accredited investors. Attention high net worth investors. Oil and gas investments have always been an ideal tax advantage and have been a way to invest and take a 100% write-off. The new administration is threatening to take this away. Take advantage now before it's too late. Invest in domestic oil drilling for a full tax credit this year. When you invest in oil, you get a 100% tax write-off. The pent-up demand from the pandemic has created the perfect storm for oil prices to soar. Support domestic U.S. oil and natural gas drilling and make your patriotic investment to get a complete 100% tax deduction write-off. If you are liquid for a $100,000 investment, call Encore Energy at 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691. 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691.
For the first time since 1995, the Atlanta Braves are the World Series champions.
That is out of the ballpark!
Jorge Soler's third-inning three-run homer on the Braves radio network was the appetizer to Atlanta's World Series win. But Freddie Freeman's single homer in the seventh put the icing on the cake. Freeman has spent his entire career with the Braves.
We lost 97 games in 2015, and 6 years later, we're world champions.
Fan reaction back in Atlanta.
I'm so proud of this team. I'm so proud to be in Atlanta.
The Braves over the Houston Astros 7-0 in Game 6 to take it all. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
We're now hearing from witnesses after a deadly crash in Las Vegas. Pro football player Henry Ruggs released by the Raiders hours after being charged with felony DUI. Amy Rigo says she saw a car engulfed in flames.
My husband was next to me. I was like, honey, there's an accident.
Is due in court today. Facebook is shutting down its facial recognition system that was used to identify people in all of your pictures. The company now says it will delete the face prints of more than 1 billion people. Big cocaine bust in New Jersey. Police say more than 2,000 pounds of drugs were found in heavy metal rollers used on lawns. It's the biggest seizure of cocaine bound for New York City in more than a decade. This is ABC News.
Hundreds of thousands of people have said goodbye to their overpriced Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile plans and switched to Pure Talk on the same great 5G coverage as one of those carriers. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. The average family is saving over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250. Say Jill50.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the risk.
Dust off those winter coats. It's going to feel like winter out there over the next couple of days. We're getting a nice taste of that to move in. Today, expect a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-50s and lower 60s. Tonight, overnight showers will build in, especially into the early morning hours. We're going to see temperatures fall into the upper 30s and lower 40s. Showers will be with us throughout the day on Thursday. Highs will struggle. We'll only make it into the upper 40s and mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, once we get through our showers on tonight and Thursday night, the rest of the weekend, all the way through first of next week, is looking mighty good. Partly cloudy on Friday with highs around 55. Now, we are dropping. The bottom's going to fall out at nighttime. Friday night, our lows around 34. Then on Saturday night, it looks like our lows are going to be 31 and 36 on Sunday night and 38 on Monday night. So we got a couple of nights that are below freezing. So some frost and some icy conditions will probably prevail those days. But the daytime's going to stay in the mid to low 50s to mid 40s to low 50s. So it's tempting us with the cool weather, which is just ahead of us. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock now, have these death announcements this morning. Fred L. Turner, age 75, of Rutherfordton, passed away Saturday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Thursday, November 4th at Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, with military honors being provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with those arrangements for Fred L. Turner. Dennis Cooper, age 70, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, October 26th, at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 7 o'clock Thursday, November 4th, in the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Military honors will be provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Dennis Cooper. Johnny Smith, age 70, of Forest City, passed away Friday, October the 29th, at his residence. A gathering of family and friends will be held from 5 until 7 at Harrelson Funeral Home Friday, November the 5th. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Johnny Smith of Forest City. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report. We'll have the complete information for you. The Caller on News report coming up here in just a few moments. Bill O'Reilly update in just a couple of minutes. Away from right now, let me again update you on yesterday's elections locally. In local races, Forest City Commissioner, the two top vote getters were John Mark Bennett. He received 38.5% of the vote, and Sean Moore received 33.3%. Keisha McDowell, 22.4%, and Lawrence with 5.9%. Spindell, Lou Gillum had the top vote getter, 79% of the vote. Jennifer Spratt had 42.21%, her opponent there. Ellenboro, Liz Blatton, 28%. Lee Allen, 27%. Pam Paget, 26%. And Alan Black, 17%. Over in Ruth, the incumbent mayor, David Guy, won with his percentages, 54%. His opponent, former mayor, Denver Buchanan, had 33%. And Richard Francois had a 7-point percentage. So that's the way it broke down locally. That's the only ones I have in hand this morning. I think most of the others were unopposed. But as anything becomes available to us, we'll certainly pass that on to you in the meantime. We're being kind to Bill Sheehan of Rutherfordton on his birthday today. He is retired and celebrating a birthday, so we want to make it a big one for Bill. If you know him, give him a call and wish him well on his birthday today. Everybody should rejoice on their birthday. And congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. A shutout last night. Braves 7, Astros nothing. Baseball's over with, but we still have high school football playoffs coming up on Friday night. Here's Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
on this Wednesday, so I bought my Thanksgiving turkey over the weekend because there's a shortage of turkeys. It costs 30% more than last year because shipping costs are higher and no one is working in the grocery stores or the turkey processing centers. They're not working because the government is sending them free money. So what we have here in the USA under President Biden is high prices for most things and a shortage for a lot of things. Now, last year, prices were stable and stuff was plentiful. Last year was a COVID situation. Mr. Biden doesn't really understand economics and appointed a small-town mayor, Pete Buttigieg, to run the transportation department. Well, Mr. Buttigieg has no expertise in transportation. He was hired because he's gay and supported Biden. This is not the way to run a country. President Biden will soon be 79 years old and is often befuddled at work. I hope he can find a cake and candles for his birthday celebration. I also hope Joe Biden stops screwing around. Pardon the cliche. Now this. Car repairs often feel like a lose-lose situation. The expensive payments and paperwork feel never-ending. But ever since I called Car Shield, that all gets handled for me. That's a win-win. I just select my favorite mechanic, and Car Shield's administrators do the rest. So get coverage today, and you'll see why Car Shield cars go farther. Please visit carshield.com/bill to save 10%. A deductible may apply. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, this is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. Gilbert Talks Taxes because, as we all know, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. So put on a pot of coffee because I'll be talking about tax law, tax rules and changes, regulations, retirement, financial strategies, and of course, I'll be telling you how to handle the IRS. This is Gilbert. Listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 right here, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
She was born in Budapest, Hungary on November 7, 1850. She and her family came to the United States by the way of Mexico when Maximilian became the emperor of that country. Her real name was Mary Kathleen Harney. Plying her trade as a soiled dove, she went under the name of Kate Elder, Kate Fisher, and Kate Melvin. But we know her as Big Nose Kate, Doc Holliday's girlfriend. She didn't have a big nose. Some say she got that nickname because she had a habit of sticking her nose in other people's business. Kate and Doc were together for several years before the OK Corral shootout, and during that time it wasn't unusual for Kate to bail Doc out of trouble. Like the time in Fort Griffin, Texas, when Doc was in jail for knifing a fellow gambler who had pulled a gun on him. As a distraction, Kate set fire to the town and Doc escaped. Kate despised Wyatt Earp, and that hatred grew as Wyatt's mysterious control over Doc grew. In the fall of 1879, at Wyatt's request, Doc came to Tombstone and so did Kate. Kate regularly got angry with Doc for a variety of reasons, and when that happened, her Hungarian temper surfaced. During one of her angry fits, she signed a statement saying that Doc had participated in a stage robbery. Although the charges were dropped, this all but ended their relationship. Kate later ran a hotel, married and divorced a blacksmith, and worked as a maid. She spent her last years at the Arizona Pioneers Home in Prescott, Arizona, dying at the age of 89 on November 2, 1940. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu, along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order. Now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
All aboard now for the Morning Colorado Report as well on WCAB at 16 past 7. And we're on the phone right now with Officer King with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office to give us an update. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing today, Jim?
Okay. Where you been? Haven't had you on in a while.
Been hiding.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's not a bad thing to do.
Right.
What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Department has responded to 175 calls for service. There were 11 arrests processed in the jail, and jail currently has 176 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, an Alexis Walker from Trough Lane in Bostic reported theft from a motor vehicle. A Eric Melton from Maple Creek Road in Rutherford reported a financial card theft. Peggy Bradley from Free Will Baptist Church Road in Bostic reported obtaining property by false pretense. That's all on the incident reports. On arrest reports, Donnie Self from Old Church Street in Morrisboro served with 2 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, received an $11,000 secured bond. Angelica Roop from Lancaster Drive in Forest City was served with an order for arrest for child support, received a $566 cash bond. Joey Gordon from Gladys Road in Forest City was arrested and charged with domestic violence protection order violation, received a domestic violence hold. Larry Monteith from Maple Creek Road in Rutherford was served with a warrant for assault on a female, received a domestic violence hold. David Luckadoo from Dillashaw Drive in Forest City was served with a failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $500 unsecured bond. And a Dustin Lauder from Greasy Creek Road in Marion was served with a warrant for driving while license revoked and received a $1,000 secured bond. That's all we have for today.
Thanks, Officer King. I appreciate it very much. Glad to have you back, and you be safe out there.
Thank you, Jim. You have a good one.
See you now. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. And speaking of high school football, we do have a game Friday night. Pine Lake Prep is at Chase. 7 o'clock countdown, 7:30 kickoff. It's the first of postseason play here, and we'll see what happens from that point on. But we are happy to have 2 of our teams going into the playoffs after regular season play. Chase and Thomas Jefferson. Chase is our game of the week this week. Hope you'll join us for that broadcast and join them at Chase to support them. Let's check in with Jessica now. She has a report for us from the Communications Center. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on that report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 384 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 55 EMS calls, 175 for Sheriff's Office, Forest City 75, Lake Lure 9, Rutherford 66, Spindale 48. Fire calls, Bills Creek responded to a brush fire and a vehicle accident. Lake Lure responded to a residential fire alarm, and Spindale responded to a fire investigation. And that's all we've got today.
Thanks so much, Jessica. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
The holidays are fast approaching, and now's the perfect time to visit the new business Different Times Mercantile. Located at 548 South Main Street, Rutherford, owners Sheila and BC Deck offer old, new, and a little bit in between merchandise. The store is full of antiques, collectibles, brand new clothing fashions, glassware, framed art, home decor, wreaths, holiday and seasonal, unique gifts and jewelry, and so much more. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., Sunday, 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. Stop in to Different Times Mercantile, 548 South Main Street, Rutherford. Find your timeless treasures only at Different Times Mercantile.
Nice to have them in town. I hope you'll stop by Different Times Mercantile and see those fine folks there. It's a great store. I think you'll find something there for anybody. Now it's 21 past 7. We're going over to Danieltown SDO Fire District and get a report from Ruby Taylor this morning. Ruby, how's it going this morning?
Well, it's going all right.
Good.
Fire calls, no calls. And I got one birthday, and it's Emily Hill. Hope she has a nice day. And the signs are in the secrets today and tomorrow. And hope everybody has a good day.
Thanks, Ruby. You have a good day, too. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Right,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're being kind today to Bill Sheehan of Rutherfordton on his birthday. He is retired, and we hope he has a great, great birthday and enjoys every minute of it.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, we're going up to Fairfield Mountains, and Gary Wilson's on the phone to get us an update from that beautiful section of our county. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. Rocking these colors, they're looking pretty good, aren't you?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Starting to pop out pretty good around here now. But we get this one time we get our best colors about the first week of November. But get some rain coming in here tomorrow, and get them wet and the wind get up a little bit. I guess they'll start coming down then pretty fast. But we're gonna get a little bit of maybe a chance of rain tonight and tomorrow. And a little colder for the weekend, and down around near freezing a couple mornings there, so it'll feel like fall year then.
I know it. It'll be time to turn the heat on, won't it?
It will. In fact, I got a little bit on my this morning myself. But
yep.
Yeah, it won't take too much. Just knock the chill off in the mornings. So we've been quiet overnight. No fire calls or anything. Bells Creek had one call yesterday, and everything's peaceful starting up here this morning, sitting on about 43 degrees and looking for a good week. With pretty weather, everybody can get out and enjoy it.
Good. I hope you have a good day too, Gary. Be safe up there. We'll check back in with you tomorrow morning.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
Thanks, Gary. It's Gary Wilson reporting from Fairfield Mountains and also Bills Creek. Prime time of the ACC is tonight at 7. We had down Game 7 if they needed to go that way with the Braves, but they don't need to go that way. They closed it out last night. The Braves closed it out last night. Shut out the Astros 7-0, so there'll be no more Braves games until next season. But prime time in the ACC tonight at 7.
It's time to revive your internet. Get speeds all the way up to 5 gig. Plus, right now, we're offering 1 month free and free installation when you sign up for internet with prices as low as $39.99 monthly. Get Vibe's fiber-rich internet that comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So revive your internet with a free month and free installation. This is a limited-time offer, so call today or visit vibebroadband.com to sign up. For ends 1/2/22, modem taxes and fees extra, not available in all areas. See vibebroadband.com for additional restrictions.
Now let's see what's been happening over in the Bostic Fire District. DeVern's on the phone right now to give us an update. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How are you this morning?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
We've got 50 degrees over here this morning. The fire department had no calls. Don't forget, we change our time back Saturday night. We fall back an hour. And today we can get the results on the election.
Yeah, it was a big night for a lot of folks last night.
A lot of folks, wasn't it?
Yeah. We'll find out more.
We'll see what turns out today.
Yeah, we'll find out more about it. We have some of them already, but we don't have all of them. But It's those who won, we congratulate. Those who lost, we sorry.
That's right. That's right.
Laverne, you have a great day over there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Same to you, Jim.
Bye.
Bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. And let's go to Hudlow Fire District now and talk with Bob Hodge and see if anything new and exciting's happened over there. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good hump day morning.
Did you win your election? Did you win the mayor of Hudlow this morning?
Yeah, well, I guess I was just appointed there, but I didn't win. I want to congratulate little Lulu, though, winning her commissioner seat over there in Spindale.
She sure did. She won real big over in Spindale.
Yeah, so she done good over there. Well, Jim, things going along good up here this morning with the fire department. We think it's one medical call. And other than that, it's quiet. Been quiet all night, so everything's running along good. Maybe it'll stay that way. We'll got a little cool weather over here this morning and mostly cloudy there, so look like the rest of the week's going to be getting a little touch of wintertime here.
Yeah, I better find the little blankets we've been tossed away for a while. Pull those out of the...
We're going to have to put a quilt on the bed, ain't we?
Yeah,
there
we sure are. Yeah.
Well, Jim, that's about it up here in our neck of the woods this morning. So you take care and you have a good day now.
Bob, thank you. Hope you and Aberdeen have a great day, and I will talk with you again tomorrow morning.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
The music's on us on WCAB.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now here's Sue Price reporting out of the Cherry Mountain Fire District with news. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
I'm doing really good. Are you up and at 'em and walking around pretty good now?
Doing pretty good, yeah.
Good, good.
We're getting along the best way we can, I reckon. Well, let's see. I don't have a single birthday or anniversary on either one of my calendars today, so nobody's celebrating that I know, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And in my announcements, the Golden Valley Community Club is selling Boston butts with all the fixings, the slaw and the sauce. And you can call 828-447-2969 to order. And the pickup date on this is November the 20th. So get those orders in. The orders have to be in before November the 6th. So that's the end of this week, so coming right up. And this makes a good meal, good thing to do, so we hope we have a good turnout for that. And as far as I know, that's the only announcement I have, Jim. It's quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
You have one too, Sue, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now it's 7:31. We're going to head up the mountain a little ways up to Shingle Hollow Fire District, and Tina White's on the phone to give us all the news that she has available. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. It's calm up here this morning. It's still kind of dark out there.
Yes.
It's 47 degrees. Shingle Hollow Fire Department was all quiet. Green Hill Fire Department had one medical call yesterday. No birthdays on any calendars today, so that's not celebrating up here in Shingle Hollow as far as I know. White House Community Clubhouse wants to invite everyone to come out Friday, November 5th at 6:30 for craft night at White House Community Clubhouse. They'll also have snacks available. Like I said, everybody's invited. And then on Saturdays, from now until Christmas, starting at 11 a.m., White House Community Clubhouse will have a turkey shoot. A set of used shotguns and .22 rifles only, and you can call 828-773-6705 for more information on the turkey shoot. And that's all I've got this morning.
All right. You going to be resting up today? You got big plans?
Not big plans, just going to stay around the house and then have church tonight.
Good. So like a way to spend a Wednesday.
It does, yes.
Well, you enjoy your day and be safe up there, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Okay, everybody stay safe and God bless.
See you, Tina.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Hey folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
All right, now let's head up toward Union Mills and see if we can find anybody at home at the Kelly household. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this? Let's see. It's a wonderful Wednesday.
It is indeed, yes. Wonderful Wednesday.
And I had my doubts that the Braves would win the series, but I'm so glad that they did.
Boy, that was a big one. That's the first one in a long time. Well, what was it?
25 years, I believe they say.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did, and I'm glad now baseball's over with, and we can concentrate on football and basketball now.
There you go. I'm anxious to see how the new coach will do down at Carolina.
Well, he'll probably be okay. He may take him a year.
It'll take a while. So, but I'm anxious to see how it's going to go.
Do you have a she shed up at your place?
No, I don't have no she shed. This whole house is my she shed. Well, I have got a building that Donald built for me. Oh gosh, way before he died, way before he got sick, And my cousin down at the beginning of the road made me a sign one year for Christmas that says Brenda's Pouting House.
Pouting House.
So I got a pouting house, not a she shed.
That's funny.
Oh, me. But anyway, we hope everybody's having a good day. I've got 44 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries. And in ways of announcements, on November the 5th, beginning at 7 p.m., Winging It will be at the Union Mills Learning Center. And the meal is available beginning at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5. And so far, that's all I know that's going on up here in this little part of the world.
You know, before you know it, one of these groups that plays up there on weekends like that will rise to stardom, and they'll be world famous for their talents. And they'll say, well, we got our start in Union Mills.
Well, you know what? I had never heard Randy Flack, but I went last month to hear him. Now, he was good, and he a lot of the songs he sang, he had wrote.
Oh, yeah.
And he was born and raised here, but he moved off somewhere else later on. I forget where. But he was really good.
Well, they got to start somewhere.
Yeah, he played the piano. They had just had it tuned, and they wanted him to play it. And he said he hadn't played the piano in years, but he done all right on it. I wanted him to play Great Balls of Fires on it like Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
Which I believe he could have, yeah. But no, yeah, they have some good music up there, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know of anything else going on, so I guess you better truck it on down to Ellenborough and see how Luther Sweet thing's doing.
I'll do it, and you have a good day up there in Union Mills.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye. That's the Kelly Report out of Union Mills. It's 7:37. We have 47 degrees. Daylight's breaking out here pretty soon, and we're getting up to about 55 with northeast wind about 5 miles per hour. Rain showers coming in tonight and through tomorrow, and temperature starts dropping too. By Thursday night, we're expecting temperature around 34. Friday night, 34, and then on Saturday night it'll be below freezing, and it looks like on Saturday night it may be around 31. And then starting back up 36 on Sunday night. So we got some cool weather coming. So be prepared for it.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
We're scheduled to have the school board reports this morning about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Philip Morrow, the chairman of the school board, will be telling us what they talked about last night, and we'll let you listen in on that. That's this morning. School board report about 10 minutes after 8 today. Right now we're going over to Ellenborough, North Carolina, US of A. That's where Luther Gilligan hangs his hat. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, you two. Nice morning down here.
Well,
a little dark, a little cloudy, a little cool, but hey, it's a nice day.
Good.
We're going to have a good time today. Let's see, fire department, they're fairly quiet. Well, they're quiet right now. They had 3 calls. Last one's about 1:30 this morning. All 3 of them medical calls. So they're quiet right now. They just sit around and go and have a cup of coffee right now. And nothing else going on down here, so you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. Keep your eye on things for us, and I'll see you next time.
All right, take care now.
All right, bye. That's the Surrounding County report this morning. It's 7:39. Leaves us time to celebrate your birthday, and we like to do that, to give you a big shout-out. Call 287-3356, 287-3356. Todd's standing by to take that birthday or anniversary call right now at 7:39. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled Aryee.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Well, I stopped by Granny B's yesterday. I had lunch with them. I'd ordered one of those nice big subs and filled it up, and boy, it was good. But I noticed they're also serving a big breakfast. I can't get over there for breakfast, but I sure can enjoy lunch. Now, if you like a good breakfast, go have ham and bacon and sausage, liver mush with egg, maybe sausage and gravy biscuits for $2.25, hash browns, breakfast plate, any way you like it. And they got coffee, good ground coffee. Add some cheese to your order. You can eat it in over there, or call it to go. Take it to work with you, or take back home with you. Either way, breakfast is open at 6:30 at Granny B's, Tuesday through Saturday. 286-9012. 286-9012 is the phone number to call your order in. And when you want your clothes looking good, you can take them by Folks Cleaners. They're professional. They do a great job, and they look after you, and you don't even have to get out of the car. Just pull up to the side there. They got a door they'll open, and you can hand your clothes to them. And when you go back to pick up, they'll hand them back out to you. Real simple, and they have a senior discount over there. So be sure to use and take some of the pressure off of you. You don't have to press those things. They'll do that for you. That's Folks Cleaners there in the Rockwood Plaza, Forest City.
Happy birthday.
I'd like to wish Caden Calhoun a happy 16th birthday. He's a student at Lake Lure. I guess that's the academy up there. Caden Calhoun, happy birthday. We're being kind to Bill Sheehan of Rutherfordton. He's having a birthday today. He is retired, enjoying his birthday, I hope, every minute of it. Other birthdays today include Charles Bronson. Todd's knocking the building down over there. Charles Bronson, born in 1921, died 2003. Roseanne Barr, 1952 was her birth. 1954, Godzilla was born. And 1957, Dolph Lundgren. You love live radio, folks. I do. I love live radio. Some of the events on this day include the Chevrolet officially enters the automobile market in 1911. 1913, first elastic bra is patented. 1953, first live color versus coast-to-coast broadcast. First live color U.S. coast-to-coast broadcast. 1956, 1939, film Wizard of Oz televised for the first time. 1978, first broadcast of Different Strokes. And then 1983, Nashville Network began on cable TV, now Paramount Network. Now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB Rutherford. School Board report coming up a little after 8 o'clock this morning.
One day a farmer walked into his barnyard and explained that his family wanted to have a breakfast of ham and eggs. He was looking for volunteers. The chicken quickly volunteered. She would supply as many eggs as were needed. When the pig failed to respond, the chicken accused her of being ungrateful and just a little bit chicken. However, the pig didn't budge, stating, "It's easy for you to volunteer. You only have to make a contribution, but for me, it means a complete sacrifice." One of the widows of the Bible made such a sacrifice. She only gave 2 small coins in the offering, but she gave all she had. Even though there were wealthy people whose contributions amounted to much more, Jesus made it very clear that her offering was the greatest because it required the greater sacrifice. The contributions each of us make to society may not be equal, but the sacrifice required to make those contributions can be. The Bible says that when an individual is given much, much will be required of them. God expects us to use our abilities and means to serve others. He is looking for full-fledged sacrifice, not mere token contributions. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS or visit our webpage at bwb.net/keys.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM
Sherry Preston. A Republican backlash in Virginia, where former Governor Terry McAuliffe has lost his bid for another term to Republican newcomer Glenn Youngkin, who, as ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports, won in part by seizing the suburbs.
Youngkin's win likely aided by voters' negative views of President Biden's performance. Exit polls showing 54% of voters disapprove of his work in office, even though Biden won the state by 10 percentage points just last year.
ABC's Janae Norman has more on New Jersey's governor's race between GOP challenger Jack Ciattarelli and incumbent Democrat Phil Murphy.
Ciattarelli, who never led in any public opinion poll, painted Murphy as out of touch with the average voter and criticized his handling of the COVID-19 crisis, and that may have done well with voters as this race still too close to call.
In Minneapolis, the city where George Floyd was killed by police, voters have rejected the idea of replacing the police department with a public safety department. The head of the CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, telling Good Morning America she has given the go-ahead for kids' COVID shots made by Pfizer.
Done the due diligence, reviewed the science, made sure we had the appropriate doses for our children, and really now we have parents who can have the peace of mind that when they get their kids vaccinated, they will be protected.
Another rejection of a contract offer for John Deere workers in 3 Midwestern states. They turned down a 10% raise and significant bonuses, saying they needed better benefits, including working conditions and dealing with worker shortages. For the first time since 1995, Atlanta Braves fans are waking up knowing their team World Series champions.
I'm 22 years old. My family moved to Atlanta in March of 2000. I've never once felt any of this in my entire life.
The Braves eliminated the Astros last night 7-0. This is ABC News.
This investment involves a high degree of risk and is only suitable for SEC-defined accredited investors.
Attention, high net worth investors. The dietary supplement industry is a $150 billion industry and growing. A key factor driving the market is that consumers are becoming increasingly focused on their personal health and well-being. What many don't know is that 75% of the supplements we ingest and depend on for good health are imported from China, where standards are lax and pollutants and heavy metals are not uncommon.
Hi, this is Joseph Hooper with Pure Country Natural Processors. We are committed to developing the highest quality control supplements at a competitive price right here in the heartland of America. Here's your chance to be part of a unique investment opportunity. Join us as we bring more manufacturing back here to the U.S.
For more information, go to pcnp.us. That's pcnp.us or call 800-833-1883. That's 800-833-1883. 800-833-1883.
The jury pool now filled in the trial of 3 white men in Georgia accused of killing black jogger Ahmaud Arbery. The trial for the jury could be seated as soon as later today. Relief in Australia after a search for a 4-year-old girl missing for more than 2 weeks.
Cleo is alive and well.
Call Branch with Western Australia Police. Cleo Smith disappeared from a tent at a campground a couple of weeks ago with her mother sleeping right next to her, but a tip led investigators to a home about 30 miles away.
A police team broke their way into a locked house in Carnarvon at about 1 a.m. They found little Cleo in one of those rooms.
A 36-year-old man is under arrest. SpaceX was supposed to send more astronauts up to the International Space Station today, but as ABC's Tony Marino reports, it's now on hold.
The company said its Crew 3 launch of 4 astronauts from the Kennedy Space Center won't happen until at least Saturday due to a minor medical issue involving one of the astronauts. There's no word on what that medical issue is, but SpaceX says it is not COVID-related. NASA and SpaceX are now targeting 11:36 p.m. local time Saturday night. Tony Marino, ABC News, Orlando.
Snacking is going to take more of a bite out of your wallet. The company that makes things like Oreos, Ritz crackers, and Sour Patch Kids says prices are headed up on average about 7%. Higher prices for raw materials and, supply chain issues getting the blame. This is ABC News.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom, a single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Our temperatures for today will reach the mid-50s and lower 60s. We're tracking a mix of sun and clouds, but more clouds will be out there for today. Overnight, we're going to see some light showers move in, especially into the early morning hours. Our temperatures will be in the upper 30s and lower 40s, and tomorrow will be the day where you'll need to keep those rain gears with you. Even a heavy coat, highs will struggle to make their way into the upper 40s and mid-50s with showers around. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, nighttime frost and early morning frost and possibly some freezing weather coming our way this weekend. Looks like by Friday night, our lows will be 34. Then Saturday night, 31, 36 back down on Sunday night, and Monday night, 38. So we'll have one night below freezing there, and possibly even a couple. Daytimes, though nice, up in the mid-50s, wind gusting to 11 miles per hour on Saturday. Sunday highs around 62, 67 on Monday, and 66 on Tuesday. So we got beautiful weather. It's just the nights are going to be cooler than we've been having these past few nights. But I guess we're all ready for that, right? Right now it's 45 degrees, according to Peter, the meter reader. This hour we have the school board report. Chairman of the school board, Philip Morrow, has indicated he will call in this morning with a report from last night's meeting, and we'll tell you all about it. And we got some other news from here, including an update on the election returns locally from last night.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the home medical department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccine. And November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Well, in local elections from last night over in Spindale, there was a big change over there. Rosaline Francis, the incumbent, lost her election for re-election. Ricky Ledbetter beat her 53.52% of the vote. Rosaline had 44.72%, and Lou Gillum had 79.1%, and her opponent, Jennifer Spratt, only got 42 votes. Mickey Bland, running unopposed as mayor, 98% of the vote. Over in Forest City, John Mark Benny was the top vote getter. He was 38.5%. Sean Moore with 33.3%. Keisha McDowell, 22.4%. And Lawrence, 5.9%. Over in Ellenboro, Liz Blanton had 28% of the vote, Lee Allen 27%, and Pam Padgett 26%, and Alan Black only received 17%. Ruth, incumbent Mayor David Guy, won re-election by 54%. His opponent, Denver Buchanan, 38%, and Richard Francois, 7.1%. As I mentioned earlier this morning, the school board, Rutherford County School Board, met last night. A lot of emphasis on schools right now. And the chairman of the school board, Philip Morrow, has been gracious enough to agree to give us a report from that meeting. And he's on the phone with me right now. Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Jim. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. Did you have a long meeting last night, or was it relatively short?
Well, no, we actually had a very light agenda, Jim, but did have a lengthy meeting, but it was good. Danny Smith and his Megabytes robotics team was invited to come to the meeting last night, as they have taken first place in their most recent competition across the state.
Oh, yeah.
And his team came in and gave an outstanding presentation, Jim, of really just inspiration and hope. The students was able to speak, and many team members, several of their mentors, and Jim, it was fantastic.
I bet that was exciting.
I would encourage anybody to go back and watch that meeting and just it'll be a good thing.
Do you have anybody public coming to speak on anything?
We did. We had a few public comments last night. Nothing major, Jim. Very respectful. Folks just coming, and we encourage that each and every meeting. If you have something that you want to say, please come and sign up for public comments, and we're willing to listen and hear, and always open to those folks willing to take their time out of their busy schedule to come talk to us.
That's good. What else went on?
So, Jim, we did speak about some of our COVID mitigation procedures last night. We did modify our ongoing motion of the mask requirement at this time. Fortunately, Jim, in our county and really throughout the state, our numbers are moving in the right direction. Less and less people are getting sick, which means less folks are getting exposed. And as we mentioned back on our special call meeting back on August the 27th, once our county does move into the orange, which is the substantial on the transmission rate, that we would discuss it. And with the numbers moving so quickly, and again, that's a good thing, we did modify our motion last night that if we do move into the orange category, for 7 consecutive days, then we will go back to mask optional, and that may be an occurrence before our next board meeting, which would be fantastic.
A lot of people in favor of that, I know.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Jim. But that's a good sign, Jim, and that's where we want to go. We want this COVID to basically go away.
Philip, I know you've addressed this before with me and on the air as well, but I keep getting questions asked from folks out in the community about the school system, about this critical race theory curriculum. Is that at all in Rutherford County Schools? Are we teaching that kind of thing?
No, Jim, and to my knowledge, I'm not aware of any parent that has come to me asking questions, from their students coming home. So if that is the case and kids are coming home, talking to their parents about that, please reach out to us.
Okay. What else went on at the meeting? Anything else?
That was pretty much it, Jim. We had to wrap up a few business items, some first readings on some policy, and the acceptance of our independent auditor's report, which was absolutely fantastic. No errors there. So that was pretty much the meeting right there, Jim.
All right. Philip Morrow, chairman of the Rutherford County School Systems School Board, agreed to be with us on a busy schedule he has all the time. But thank you so much, Philip, for being with us. We look forward to talking to you again next month.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you.
Have a good week.
You too.
It's always good to stay in touch with what they're doing, what they're talking about. All the national news sometimes throws people a curve, and it's not always necessarily happening right here because the things that are happening in some of the more liberal communities. So don't get distraught from that. We can always find out from our local officials, indeed, what's taking place. More news from here and there in just a moment.
You need an insurance agent you can talk to? Call Insurance Service Associates at 828-245-5301. We want to help you get the best out of your insurance dollar. As a trusted choice independent agent, we shop your coverage with several companies to give you the best value. More companies, better choices, best rate. Come see us at our new office at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call us at 828-245-5301.
Make your plans to attend an old-fashioned tent revival starting October 31st at 6 o'clock. This tent revival will be under the direction of Pastor Paul Lane and Dr. Keith Barnett, Sunday, October 31st at 6 p.m. and Monday, November 1st through Friday, November the 5th at 7 p.m. Good singing and preaching each night under the big tent at Restoration Church, 133 Garden Brook Drive, Forest City. Tent revival sponsors include Gilkit Lumber Company, Green Hill Store, Grapevines Consignment, Hawkins Tire Company, and Fat Traces. Bring your church group and your neighbors and friends to the tent revival at Restoration Church starting Sunday, October 31st, going through Friday, November 5th. It's going on this week, so be sure you go by there. Nothing like a little tent revival to spur your spirits. Well, the Forest City Town Council awarded a pair of bids to complete several sewer manhole replacements as well as sewer rehabilitation on Settlemire and Highview Street at its regularly scheduled Monday meeting. The two bids combined were for $256,212. The total cost for the sewer manhole replacement will be $158,614.50. That bid was awarded to Marvin Hoyle. A total of 15 manholes will be replaced. They're located at 234 Bentwood Drive, 132 Willow Run Drive, 126 Biddle Street, 184 Bob Rollins Road, right of way off Hill Street, 416 Arlington Street, 148 Sharon Street, 149 Arlington Street, Wendover Drive and Webb Drive, 139 East Trade Street, 154 Sherman Drive, 161 Collins Avenue, end of Georgia Avenue, 119 Collins Avenue, and at Habitat House on Justice Drive. The most expensive manhole replacement will be the one located at Habitat House on Justice Drive, which is estimated to cost $14,173.50. So just so you know what's going on out there, that's the manhole covers that are being replaced. Well, as you heard on the report Tuesday morning from Chairman Brian King from the County Commissioners meeting, county employees getting a 4% COLA pay raise. They were due to receive a cost of living pay increase of 1% beginning in January 2022 because of action taken by the Rutherford County Commissioners at their meeting Monday. County employees are now scheduled to get as much more robust increase of 4%. Restoration of some 401k funding was also included by commissioners. This action is essential, officials say, to help county government recruit new employees and retain the ones already employed. The COLA increase was approved unanimously. 17 minutes after that, we are being kind today to Bill Sheehan of Rutherfordton. He is retired, celebrating a birthday today, so let's make it a big, big day for Bill Sheehan. With Thanksgiving and the holidays approaching, the American Red Cross urges donors to continue to make and keep appointments now and in the week ahead to help overcome the ongoing emergency blood shortage that has significantly impacted the nation's blood supply. In fact, the current blood supply is the lowest the Red Cross has seen this time of year in more than a decade. Some of the drives coming up today at 10:30 till 3 o'clock at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy Gym. Thursday, Spencer Baptist Church Fellowship Hall will be hosting the blood drive 1 o'clock until 6. Then on Friday, Big Springs Baptist Church Fellowship Hall, Big Springs Baptist Church Road, Ellenboro on Friday from 2:30 to 7. That's this week's schedule for the blood drives. So we hope you can get out and do that. 18 minutes past the hour. Coming up, the Sheriff's Report with Officer King in just a few moments. You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton. Could you use an extra $8,000, maybe $1,500 or $500? Your opportunity to brighten things up this year is here. The 2021 Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce reverse raffle tickets are now available. Only 500 tickets will be sold, and you could win $8,000, $1,500, or $500. 3 winners and tickets are available now at the Chamber office, Main Street, Rutherfordton, and here at WCAB. Our Chamber board members have them. The drawing this year will be held December 17th, live on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM at 8:10, and it will be live streamed. Be a part of supporting the Chamber with your purchase of a reverse raffle ticket. Tickets are $50, and the chances of winning $8,000, $1,500, or $500 are phenomenal. Have some fun, buy a ticket, and listen for the winning number. December 17th at 8:10. You know what? It could be you. And I have tickets right here available here at our studio if you want to stop by Beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. I've got tickets to that chamber reverse raffle. Be glad to accommodate you. Let me know how many you want. I'll save you some. Well, Thanksgiving is just a few weeks away, as you know, so don't let the stress of fixing a meal for your family get you down. Call Wayne's Lunchbox at 828-395-2225. They're now taking Thanksgiving dinner orders now through November the 16th. Enjoy the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Your choice of turkey or baked ham, dressing with giblet gravy, mac and cheese, broccoli casserole, cream corn, green beans, potato salad, cinnamon apples, deviled eggs, dozen rolls, your choice of pie, and a gallon of tea. My. Makes your mouth water, doesn't it? Pick up for these orders will be November 24th from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Here's the number to call to reserve yours, 395-2225, or see them at 391 East Main Street in Spindale and order your Thanksgiving dinner. And don't stress out on fixing that meal for everybody that's coming in. Let Wayne do it for you because you know it's going to be good if he does it, right? Right. Well, if you've been hearing on the news at all, Republican Glenn Youngkin has won the race for governor in Virginia, riding a wave of late momentum to deliver a rebuke of Democrat control in Richmond and Washington. Youngkin defeated Democrat Terry McLaughlin, according to 3 television networks, denying McLaughlin's bid to become Virginia's first repeat governor since the 1970s. With more than 94% of the expected vote counted, Youngkin has staked out a 3-point lead, a margin that reflects major gains for Youngkin and his party across Virginia and other states as well. In New Jersey, Democratic Governor Phil Murphy is locked in an unexpectedly tight race with Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Now, the national left-leaning news media are just bent out of shape over the election night win in Virginia. A common theme emerged on the social media Tuesday night as Virginia Republican Glenn Youngkin took a clear advantage over Democrat Terry McLaughlin. MSNBC hosts had public meltdowns that made for must-see TV conservatives. Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, and Nicole Wallace had a hard time holding back their feelings, and Twitter noticed. The liberal hosts spent much of the night making excuses and blaming Youngkin's success on backlash to critical race theory, which they claim doesn't exist. The outspoken right-leaning crowd that typically wouldn't dare admit to watching the far-left network couldn't help themselves on election night. MSNBC is currently going through the 7 stages of grief on an endless loop in real time, radio host Buck Sexton tweeted. It's great, highly recommended to watch MSNBC and CNN melt down because Virginia went Republican. Now here is Officer King with our report from the Sheriff's Department.
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Department has responded to 175 calls for service. There were 11 arrests processed in the jail, and jail currently has 176 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, an Alexis Walker from Troth Lane in Bostic reported theft from a motor vehicle. A Eric Melton from Maple Creek Road in Rutherford reported a financial card theft. Peggy Bradley from Free Will Baptist Church Road in Bostic reported obtaining property by false pretense. That's all on the incident reports. On arrest reports, Donnie Self from Old Church Street in Morrisboro served with 2 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, received an $11,000 secured bond. Angelica Roop from Lancaster Drive in Forest City was served with an order for arrest for child support, received a $566 cash bond. Joey Gordon from Gladys Road in Forest City was arrested and charged with domestic violence protection order violation, received a domestic violence hold. Larry Monteith from Maple Creek Road in Rutherford was served with a warrant for assault on a female, received a domestic violence hold. David Luckadoo from Dillashaw Drive in Forest City was served with a failure to appear on misdemeanor, received a $500 unsecured bond. And a Dustin Lauder from Greasy Creek Road in Marion was served with a warrant for driving while license revoked and received a $1,000 secured bond. That's all we have for today.
WCAB.
Well, that does it for me today on the Wednesday morning edition of the Morning Wake Up Call here in the Blue Room, but I'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll be at it again. So spread the word. Tell your friends and neighbors what you're missing. Now stand by. We have sports update. I'm sure they will mention the World Series win last night. The Word of Faith Fellowship program at the bottom of the hour.
NCN Sports. I'm Josh Zach.
High fly ball to left and goodbye. Soler with a monster blast into left, and the Braves lead 3-0 here in the third.
Joe Buck with the call on Fox Sports as Jorge Soler's 3-run homer in the third opened the scoring and propelled Atlanta to their first World Series championship in 25 years. The Braves beating the Astros 7-0 in Game 6 last night at Houston.
A 26-year drought ended for the Atlanta Braves.
Braves country, we appreciate you and love you.
Atlanta manager Brian Snitker was part of the celebration last night after his team beat the Houston Astros 7-0 to win the series 4-2. The Braves hit 3 home runs, one of those off the bat of Dansby Swanson.
Played this game in the backyard. Everything that you do is for moments like these.
And for this Braves fan who came here to see the game,
I'm in heaven. I'm like pinching myself.
Steve Futterman, CBS News at the World Series in Houston.
The NHL named Hurricanes goalie Frederik Andersen a third star for the month of October. He is a big reason why the Canes have jumped out to an unprecedented 8-0 start, the best in franchise history, but he is not taking all the credit, if any.
I mean, it's just a sign that it's been going well for the team, and we've been playing hard. We're obviously happy with the way the first month went, but we know it doesn't really mean too much yet. But yeah, every day we try to get better.
The Hurricanes putting their undefeated record on the line tonight when they open a 3-game road trip at Chicago. With quarterback Sam Darnold in the concussion protocol, the Carolina Panthers signed Josh Love yesterday. He was drafted by the Rams last year out of San Jose State, but didn't make it through LA's training camp. P.J. Walker will likely start Sunday against New England if Darnold can't go. Wake Forest among the top teams in the first college football playoff ranking of the season. Georgia, Alabama, Michigan State, Oregon, and Ohio State are the top 5. Cincinnati, Michigan, Oklahoma, Wake Forest, and Notre Dame round out the top 10. This is NCN Sports.
On the way home from work, school practice, or the big game, make sure you and everyone in your vehicle wears a seatbelt. Be a good sport and buckle up every time you're on the road. Wearing a seatbelt saves lives. Every passenger, every seat, every time. Remember to click it or ticket. This message brought to you by the North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Programs, the Click It or Ticket Initiative, in partnership with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
Open enrollment for healthcare.gov is here. If you're uninsured or have a job that doesn't offer insurance, check out healthcare.gov. Due to a new law, prices are lower and more people qualify. Now, 4 out of 5 customers pay just $10 a month or less with financial help. It's easier than ever to find the right plan for you, and millions of Americans just like you have already enrolled. New law, lower prices, more people qualify. Sign up at healthcare.gov by December 15th.
The Las Vegas Raiders have released promising young receiver Henry Ruggs III just hours before he made an initial court appearance on multiple felony charges.
Las Vegas police say Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III showed signs of impairment after rear-ending an SUV in his Corvette. They say the SUV caught fire. The driver was killed. Ruggs and a woman in his car were hurt and hospitalized. The crash happened several miles west of the Vegas Strip. And while the Clark County District Attorney says he's waiting for results of the police investigation, police say Ruggs will be charged with felony DUI resulting in death. Peter King, CBS News.
The 22-year-old receiver, picked 12th overall by the Raiders in the 2020 draft out of Alabama, faces between 2 to 20 years in Nevada State Prison without probation if convicted on the DUI causing death charge. Josh Zach, NCN.
Our temperatures for today will reach the mid-50s and lower 60s. We're tracking a mix of sun and clouds, but more clouds will be out there for today. Overnight, we're going to see some light showers move in, especially into the early morning hours. Our temperatures will be in the upper 30s and lower 40s, and tomorrow will be the day where you'll need to keep those rain gears with you. Even the heavy coat highs will struggle to make their way into the upper 40s and mid-50s with showers around. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
It is cloudy and 45 degrees on this Wednesday morning here at WCAB, broadcasting live from the Blue Room. We're at 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. High school football Friday night coming up. Our game, Pine Lake Prep at Chase, 7 o'clock countdown, 7:30 kickoff. Now it's time for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Nahum and Seda Bergeson.
Good morning. We're so happy to be here with you this morning. I'm here with my wife, Sada. My name is Nahum. We live in Brazil, but we're so glad we could be here at this time to be able to share with you because God's done so much in our lives. We're so happy. We're so grateful for everything God's done in our lives. And looking back, we just can't help but be grateful and see the faithfulness of God. When you decide, I want to serve you, Jesus, He takes care of you, He leads you, He guides you, and He gives you the best life you could ever have. And one verse I always love is in Hebrews 12:13. It says, happy paths that go in the right direction. And that's exactly our testimony. The more we've turned our hearts to Jesus, the more we've let Jesus change us and form us. He's created a happy life for us in the paths that go in the right direction. So one verse I'd like to start with that's very dear to my heart is in Ephesians 12:13. Because, growing up, I grew up, I've been in the church all my life, and we were always taught and heard the sermons and heard the teachings, throughout our lives. But it's one thing when you experience it for yourself. You finally see, now I know why my pastor loved Jesus so much. Now I know why they could be so bold and share the things God's done in their lives, because it was real. Before you just heard it. But then now, when you start turning to Jesus, it becomes real to you. And this verse explains it all, and I really love it. It's in Ephesians 3:19. It says, this is Paul. He was praying for the churches. He said he was praying that they could come to know Jesus. And it says that you may really come to know practically through experience for yourselves the love of Christ, which far surpasses mere knowledge without experience, that you may be filled through all your being into all the fullness of God, may have the richest measure of the divine presence, and become a body wholly filled and flooded with God Himself. And this verse says it all, that you may come to know through experience for yourselves the love of Christ. And it makes all the difference after you experience it for yourself, so you can't help but love Jesus more and want more of Jesus. And like this verse was written by Paul, and his prayer was for the church. That's the same thing that we're so grateful for the church family we have, because we've had people in our lives that were like Paul that prayed this very prayer for us one day and helped guide us. And, God puts us in a family to nurture us, to, help us go in the right direction. And we can't help but be so grateful for the people in our lives that prayed this for us one day, that we could know for ourselves how much God loved us. So I'm going to let my wife Sada share a little bit about our testimony, how we came together, how God put us together. Looking back, we laugh a lot when we tell each other the story. But it's just amazing to see how the happy past that God has for us.
Yes, we're happy to be here with you this morning. And I'm from Brazil. My dad is actually from North Dakota. And God spoke to him. He was supposed to be a missionary in Brazil. And one day he was in a conference in Los Angeles. And he was in this conference receiving from Jesus. And in the end of that service, he started weeping. And this lady turned around and told him, the peace you feel right now is going to be with you when you go through trials and tribulations. And that really came to pass. And he went to Brazil and he met my mom. My mom is from Brazil. And I have a brother. And we always used to come here for seminars. My dad met the pastors from this church, and we would come here for seminars. And I knew Nahum since we were little, but we weren't really close. So growing up, I really had a zeal for Jesus, and I wanted to fight for people. But then there come a time in my life in high school where I started getting involved with what they call Christian music, but it's really full of the world, and they put the name of Jesus on it. And as I started giving my heart to that, I started getting more and more rebellious against my parents. And I started seeing there was something wrong with what I was doing. And I was running away from the call of God in my life. I didn't have that zeal for Jesus anymore. And I really started realizing that didn't come from Jesus to me. And God started opening my eyes, and I started crying out to Jesus, giving my life to Jesus, repenting for all my rebellion, repenting for running away from the call of God in my life. I wasn't being the minister God called me at that time. So I really started realizing something was wrong. And really what I started seeing, that music was robbing my heart from Jesus. Because after I started giving my heart to Jesus, I started realizing the call of God in my life. And today I lead praise and worship in my church. And my call only started coming forth when I started giving my heart to Jesus and learning God wants true worshipers, worshiping Him in spirit and truth. And He wants a heart offering. He wants your heart as you're worshiping. So I started loving Jesus more and more. And there's a verse that's really precious to me. And it says that He puts in you the desire to serve Him. And I started crying out to want to know Jesus more. And I started growing strong in God, wanting Jesus, and started crying out for the will of God after I graduated. As far as a husband, I didn't know what was going to happen because I didn't think there was anybody for me in Brazil. Really, I couldn't see anyone there. But I didn't have a total surrender to Jesus back then when it came to that area. And one day I was talking to one of my friends, and she started telling me how God gave her someone. It was the best thing in her life. Her husband would fight for her. And that really went in my heart. And that day I went to my house and I fell on my face and I started crying out to Jesus, your will for my life, Jesus, not my will. And one time I came here for a seminar. And they had this Holocaust exhibit. And I started going through the Holocaust exhibit. And I always admired Nahum's paintings. And I thought they were very beautiful. So I would go through and look at it. And we were going through the exhibit with my family. And so Nahum came to show us the exhibits, the projects, and talk about it. And so I started telling him, because in Brazil, we started kind of the same thing. We wanted to reach out to people and tell them what happened in the Holocaust. We love the Jewish people. We love the Jewish survivors, Holocaust survivors. There's several survivors in Brazil we would visit, and we really love them. So we wanted to start reaching out to the Jewish community and telling people what happened through that horrible time in history. So as I started going through the Holocaust exhibit here during that seminar, and Nahum was taking us through it, I started telling him about this one painting we did, and it was of 5 mothers that survived the Holocaust, and they had 5 babies actually during that time. And we painted that picture, and we took that painting to one of the exhibits we did in a teachers conference about the Holocaust. So as it was there, we had some Jewish survivors come through. So this older man came through, and when he saw that painting, he started weeping. And he pointed to one of the babies, and he said, that was me. And I was born, he was actually born in a concentration camp in the end of the Holocaust. And that was really a miracle. So I started telling Nahum about that painting, about our exhibit. But in the end of everything, when we were done, I turned to him and said, why don't you come to Brazil and help us with our projects? Because we had very little at the time. But I never dreamed I was talking to my husband.
Now, let me tell my side of the story. It was kind of funny. That night, she didn't even realize what she had just said. She kind of just said it because it came to her to say, and she really didn't realize what she was actually saying. But it was kind of funny that night. I was taking her family through the exhibit, and all of a sudden, she was telling me about this painting that she had done. I was like, God started putting in my heart, she's your wife. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, here, I'm taking them through a Holocaust museum, and all of a sudden, this comes to me. I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, today we look back and we kind of laugh when we tell each other the story. Because, we're just going through the exhibit, showing the paintings, and all of a sudden, God puts it in our hearts, and, the will of God starts unfolding. It's just amazing going back to look at the faithfulness of God. You determine in your heart, Jesus, I want to do your will today. And it's like he takes care of you. I was not even thinking about anything. And then all of a sudden God puts us together, and you see the will of God unfolding every day. And that's part of that, experiencing that love of Christ.
So after that, Nahum came to Brazil really to help us with our Holocaust exhibit. But God was putting me in his heart and him in my heart to walk together. And we started getting closer, and God spoke to us. We were supposed to get married. And in Brazil, we walk together, we preach together, we fight for people's lives. We really love people. Nahum loves our people in our church in Brazil. Like I said, my dad is a missionary and he's a pastor. My parents are pastors in Brazil, and we love the call of God together. We love to preach together.
I have to say this part because we love preaching together, but at first it was a necessity because, if I had something I wanted to share, I didn't speak Portuguese at first. So she would come up and translate for me. So, we always preached together because she would help me translate for me. But then now that I speak Portuguese and I don't have a problem, I don't need a translator, we still can't help but go up to preach together because, it's how God's put us together. We preach together. We help people together. It's like, it's kind of funny, the night before when God's, putting in our hearts different verses to preach. It's like, honey, you've written enough verses. Won't have time for both of us to read all that. But it's just so fun how God puts us together, how God, when you're called together, it's amazing. The love of God only gets stronger, and the devil's plan for marriage, and, it's just, after so long, you almost don't feel like you love the person as much. But with God, it's the opposite. It's like the more and more we walk together, the more and more we fulfill God's call on both of our lives together. The happier we get, the more joyful it is. So it's kind of funny how it is the night before we go to preach. But it's just the way God works. It's so fun to walk with God.
Yes, so when he came to Brazil, God started working more and more in my heart about the will of God, the plan of God for us to walk together. And really, actually, before, since I didn't think there was anyone for me, I didn't think I was ever going to get married. But when God brought him to my life, he gave me this verse in Matthew 18:5. And it says, whoever receives and accepts and welcomes one little child like this for my sake and in my name receives and accepts and welcomes me. And God was speaking to me about Nahum because we're all children of God. And he was speaking. Nahum was part of the plan of God for my life, of salvation that was going to come forth in my life. And as I was receiving him in my life, I was receiving Jesus. I was receiving part of the plan of God for my life. And it has been so much salvation for me, salvation for him, salvation for the people around us, because we're stepping in that plan that talks about in Psalms 139 that God wrote a book about each one of us, and he has a plan for us. And when we're crying out to him, his plan will come to pass. And that's what I experienced in my life. That's what he experienced in his life. And it has been such a happy life.
And I'd like to share one verse real fast because, like I said, it's like she said, it's such a happy life. And there's a verse in Psalms 4 that David wrote. And this is kind of what drives you. When you serve Jesus, it's like the more you experience that love, the more you want someone else to experience that same love. The more you want someone else to experience that same happiness. And this is one verse, Sada, and I love to share with people. In Psalms 4, verse 7, it says, was David sharing his heart. He said, You have put more joy and rejoicing in my heart than they know. Even when their wheat and new wine have yielded abundantly. You know, like people think they have everything. Now I have everything. Now I have money. Now I have this. But it's like God puts more joy in our hearts serving Him than they even have ever experienced. And that's where we love to share. Serving Jesus is so much fun. And it's like you can't help but want to teach somebody else that, or teach one of the younger ones. Serve Jesus. It's so fun serving Jesus. He has a plan for your life. So that's what unites us and drives us even more every day. Jesus, we want to share with others that plan.
Yes. And there's another verse in Ecclesiastes 4 that says, better is two than one, because they get a better pay for their labor. And the fourfolds, better is a handful quietness than both hands full with painful effort, a vain striving after the wind and a feeding on it. And here it's saying it's better to be two than one. And that's what we've been experiencing, because if one falls, the other one's there to help them. And Nahum is such a blessing in my life. And
She's a blessing in my life. It works to both ways.
We just love what Jesus did for us. Like there can be times I'm struggling with something and He's always right there to fight for me. I'm right there to fight for Him. And out of that place, we want to fight for others. And another verse is in 1 Thessalonians 2. 19, and it says, for what is our hope and our happiness and our victor's wreath of exultant triumph when we stand in the presence of our Lord Jesus at His coming? Is it not you? So that's the only thing we're going to take with us in eternity, is people's lives. And it's worth fighting for people. We see the fruit. We love our school children. We have a Christian school in our church. And we always have assemblies. It's like their church services. And we always love what Jesus does during these church services and how God moves and changes our hearts. Because actually when we're ministering to them, our lives is also changed. And what we have received from Jesus is what we can give them. And we see the fruit in their lives. And it's so exciting to see what Jesus does in their lives and the fruit that comes, because we want to take them to heaven. It's the only thing we're going to have to take with us. And
there's nothing more fulfilling and more satisfying than to know that God could use you to help somebody. And that's the purpose of all of our lives. I had one verse that basically says that, because going through this pandemic, everything in our lives have changed. Lots of things in our lives have changed. And, whether it be medically, politically, physically, things in your lives, everything seems very uncertain at times. What we've gone through this last year, and what, only God knows what we'll go through in the future. But going through this last year, like everyone knows, it started changing my heart so much, because when you get down to the bottom of everything in your life, what matters? And there's a verse in Acts 3, and this verse it means so much to me, because after, I would like to go visit some of the sick. I stayed in the hospital sometimes with different people over the last year, and it's like God put it in my heart, because in Acts 3 verse 6, it says Peter, that man was begging alms at the gate of the temple. And he said, do you have any? He wanted some money. So Peter looked at him and said, silver and gold, money, I do not have. But what I do have, that I will give to you. In the use of the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walk. And that means so much to me today, because he says, money I do not have. And it doesn't matter what the devil says, I'm not worth anything. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, let me encourage you today. That doesn't matter. Because when you can smile at someone, give somebody the voice of God, give somebody encouragement, show somebody love, that means so much more in eternity than money can ever buy. And that's encouraged me. That's helped me. That's, put a fight in my heart. Jesus, I want more of you. Because in the end of the day, when you're able to help a little child or help an older one, my wife and I love to help the older ones in our church, the older ladies and stuff. You like to go up to them sometimes and say, "You're so beautiful today. How are you?" They get a big smile on their face. They feel loved. And, that's what really matters. And that's what sharing that love that you've experienced to others, that's what helps others. And that's, after this year's gone by, that's become my cry. Jesus, help me to never to lose that, because I'm striving after one more dollar. Is that really going to help me at all? And the truth is it's not. But striving after Jesus to have the voice of God for one more person, that's what matters. And then I had another verse that's kind of the same thing, is in John 4:31. This one, the whole chapter is so good, but there won't be time for me to read the whole thing today. But verse 31, it says, this was when Jesus was with a Samaritan lady at the well. And, many times I felt like the Samaritan lady, where I came to the people of God in the presence of God, and people, it's like God tells you. He tells you everything in your life, just like Jesus said to the Samaritan lady. She said, "Do you have a husband?" She said, "No." And then she said, "Well, that's the truth, because you've had 5 people." And then God told her, Jesus revealed himself to the lady, saying, "I know what's in your heart, and I want to help you. I want to give you that living water." And the lady was so shocked. She said, "I know I'm with a prophet. I know I've met a prophet." So what'd she do? She ran to the town and told everyone. So then at the end of the chapter, everyone in the town came back and said, "At first we came just because of what you said, but now we've seen him too." And that's kind of what I feel like today. Before I looked at my teachers, I heard my teachers and my pastors telling me all about Jesus. But today I can say, I used to hear you speak, but now I can see. Now I've seen Jesus myself, and it makes you even more grateful for the people God's put in your life. But I want to get to this one point where in verse 31, it was kind of funny. The disciples went out to get food. So they came back and were like, I'll read it. It says, "Meanwhile, the disciples urged him, saying, 'Rabbi, eat something.' But he assured them, 'I have food, nourishment to eat, of which you know nothing, have no idea.'" And they were like kind of shocked. So it says that the disciples said one to another, "Has someone brought him something to eat?" And Jesus said to them, "My food, nourishment, is to do the will and pleasure of him who sent me, and to accomplish and completely finish his work." And that word "completely" to me is like so strong, because it's my cry. Jesus, I want to completely finish your work that you have for me. Every single life around us matters. And every single life around us, God wants to use our lives to help them. And so that's been my cry. Jesus, okay, I want to completely finish your work. And, that's really, the more you experience that and the more you start helping others, the more you realize what Jesus meant here. Because sometimes I can't wait till Wednesday night comes around, or I can't wait to the next church service where I can sit down with some of the ones God's put in my heart to share with them, to help them feel that love. And then Jesus goes on to tell his disciples and says, "Look, the harvest time has come. Look, raise your eyes and observe, the fields are white for harvesting." And that's just, where our cry is, Jesus, we want to be used by you to help those people that you've called that want to serve Jesus, because there's people crying out for Jesus, and that's just our cry. Jesus, we want to be able to, in our places, to be able to help them. And then, did you have what?
Well,
I have so much. We have to make sure she has time. But
and one thing we can trust Jesus is he started a good work and he's going to complete it. If we keep turning to Jesus, if you just have a cry to him, he's able, he's faithful to finish that work he started in your heart.
And then, one other verse that's God's put so much in my heart. And I just want to encourage everyone. Maybe you've been to church all your life. Maybe you're listening and you think, Jesus, I want to have that happiness all the time. No, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. The circumstances could be horrible in our lives. But Jesus wants to experience that love where, like during the pandemic, everything could be falling apart around us. Everything could be falling apart. Our friends, everything's changing around us. And we can have that stability. Jesus, there's one thing in life I have joy about. It's going to church and seeing what God does, seeing what God's doing. Sometimes you hear the news. You could hear so much of the news and everything happen. You could feel sad in your heart. But there's one thing in this world to make us happy. It's Jesus and everything he's doing. And, that's what the devil's at. The devil's after. He wants to stop the voice of God. He wants to cut off that revealed Jesus from people seeing the revealed Jesus instead of just hearing about Jesus. Because, like I said, when I was little, I heard all about Jesus. But the cry of the people around me was for me to experience him. And, one thing that keeps that cry in my heart every day, Jesus, I want more of you. Because the more you see how Jesus uses you, and just little things, sometimes, you can't find your keys. You're like, Jesus, sometimes you start looking, you're like, Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, where are my keys? And it's like, you look right there and God shows you where your keys are. And the more you experience that, the more you want to experience that. Or you're like, you're going to church, Jesus, who can I help today? Who do you have for me to talk to? And all of a sudden, you walk in and God puts it in your heart, that person needs help. They're not doing good. And you talk to them and you see how God wants to restore their lives and help them. And it makes you just want more of that. But I want to read in Ephesians 1, verse 14. And I'll start in the end of verse 13. It says, "And those who have believed in and adhered to and relied on him were stamped with the seal of the long-promised Holy Spirit. The Spirit is the guarantee." This is my favorite part. It says, "The Spirit is the guarantee of our inheritance, the first fruit, the pledge, the foretaste, the down payment of our heritage, in anticipation of its full redemption, and are acquiring complete possession of it, to the praise of his glory." Many times our cry is, Jesus, I want to know I'm going to make it to heaven. I want to make it to heaven, Jesus. And then I read this verse one night, and it says, the Holy Spirit in our lives is like a stamp, a seal of God's approval, a seal of the down payment. Once you've had your down payment, you're going to be able to get that property. You paid your down payment, you have your document, and that's what the Holy Spirit is in our lives. That it's like a seal, a document, or a promise that we'll inherit the promised land, which is going to heaven. And so, when God gave me this verse, it puts a cry in my heart even more every day. Jesus, I want to know that I'm walking with the Spirit of God guiding me, and I want to experience every day where the Spirit of God guides me, because that's one more promise. Jesus, I'm in the right direction. I'm going the right way. Jesus, I want more. And it puts a cry deeper in your heart. You want more of the Holy Spirit. You want to be guided more by God. And, that's, as a Christian, that begins to, guide your life. Jesus, I want to know I'm going the right way. And when you start feeling God use you or speak to you, then it encourages you. Just keep going, keep going. And so I want to encourage everyone listening this morning, begin to cry out to Jesus. If you think, how can I get to that place where they're happy? Or how can I get to that place where I can hear God's voice? I want to encourage you. It's simple. Just let Jesus put a cry in your heart. Jesus, I want you. I want you, Jesus. And like Jesus spent a lot of his time weeping. And you could see the will of God was always formed in his life. And he was able to complete everything God had for him. So that's where sometimes just cry out with a simple cry. Jesus, I want more of you. If you have to cry, whatever, just cry out, Jesus, I want more of you. And it's encouraging to know, because if Jesus wants more of you and you want more of Jesus, you're gonna end up finding Jesus. And that's where we have so much joy and peace in our lives. And it's our desire to share that with others, because we want everyone to have that same happiness. And it's such a joy serving Jesus. And so we're so grateful that we had this time to be able to share with everyone today everything God's done in our lives. And it's such a joy when we can share with others. And we're always on live on these radio programs every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So feel free to, go and look. And also, we have all the videos from the past programs and everything on our website, wordoffaithfellowship.org. So we love everyone, and we're so grateful to share with you what God's done in our lives.
The music's on us on WCAB.
ABC News.